Praises to the Most High, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, double honor to the elders and apostles of Jim, well. Shalom to the whole elect. This I'm gonna assume it's a Jake, because he's got that way about him for speaking righteousness, and let's just listen to what this guy's
This
saying.
topic is religion, and I'm mainly speaking to my fellow Abrahamic faiths because that would be Christianity, Islam, and true Torah Judaism. Those are the Abrahamic faiths. We all believe in the same God, and we all have the same.
No, we don't all believe in the same power, and he said true Torah. So I believe it's referring to people who actually keep to the scriptures rather than those that are dealing with the other book. I can't remember the name of the other book, the Talmud. Those who deal with the Talmud. I'm assuming he's talking about those Old Testament so-called Jews, but
Just a few different stories and a few different prophets. Now the devil is hard at work trying to make everybody against each other and trying to deceive everybody, which the books tell us. I used to be deceived. I used to be a criminal. I used to be a piece of shit. I changed my life. You can do the same. This is why I don't have...
Now he says the devil is hard at work, trying to basically separate people. Now let's let's start at Matthew 12:50. For whoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister. So even Yahushua said, anybody who doesn't do the will of my Father, they mean nothing to me. But to him, if it's all the same, we all believe in the same God ultimately. So we should all be cool. Muslims, Christians, followers of the true Torah, quote unquote, it's all the same God. And we all know that's bullcrap. Because it says again in Matthew 10:35, for I've come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So we're saying the devil is trying to separate, but really and truly, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai is the one who's setting people against each other. So I'm confused here. If you read the scriptures and you understand them, how do those words even come out your mouth? See, Jake reads the scriptures, and I've seen this dude before, and yeah, he talks some sense, but that's the thing. People will come with nonsense, and people only see the sense in their nonsense. They don't see the nonsense in their nonsense. Because I've seen the same dude come on make a video, and he's smoking a spliff. You're defiling your temple. It says in the scriptures not to defile your temple. It's harmful to your body. But Jake will pick and choose what scriptures to believe in. They don't want to eat the whole roll. They want to eat part of it. It's like when you get a burger, you don't like the pickles, so you fry out the pickles, you fry out the tomato, and then you eat the burger. These times you're meant to eat the whole thing, and Jake don't want to eat the whole thing. He just wants to eat what he likes. Love thy neighbor as thyself and all this other crap. That's the entirety of the law. When these times your neighbor is your fellow Israelite. It don't speak about nothing of the people of the world, but it says you're meant to be harmless as doves, and you're meant to be peaceful unto all men. It doesn't mean that you're going around causing beef with everybody, but it just there's a difference between being peaceful towards others and loving towards others. There's a difference between tolerating others and showing love, camaraderie, and actively helping those. Because at the end of the day, if you don't understand these scriptures, what's the point in talking to you? I'm just gonna waste my breath. And yeah, let's hear this waffler finish talking.
People, because everybody has excuses, but it's easier to be a good person than it is to be a bad person.
Now again, he says it's easier to be a good person than it is to be a bad person, and the scriptures don't say nothing about that. The scriptures don't say is easier to be a good person. The scriptures talk exactly about. Hang on. Let's get this. How is it easier to be? It's simpler to be a good person. It's simpler to do good, because at the end of the day, it's simple to do. If you have a job, you have a family, you look after them, you can live a simple life, and that's good. It's not necessarily easier because you have a woman trying to have sex with you, and as a man, you have your needs. You might want to have sex with her, but you know that you're committing adultery because she might have a husband, and that might ruin your family. You know, you can't have more than one wife in this society. It's not really prudent. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that it's wrong, but this is where you use wisdom. So, you know, somebody coming up to you and talking rubbish to you, you might really wanna box them in their face. Even Peter cut off the ear when you know, them Centurions came for Yahushua. You know, it was easier for them to cut off the ear than it was for him to hold his peace. You know, it was easier for him to say, you know, I don't know them, than it was to say, yeah, I know them, and be punished with Yahushua. You know what I mean? So how the hell is it easier to be good? Romans 8:3, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh. So what does it show you? It shows you that the flesh is sinful. So if the flesh is sinful, you know, what was it? What's that scripture? There's a scripture where it talks about, you know, how, but basically, what is it? Oh, I can't remember that scripture, but like it talks about it basically. Man, will probably come to me after this, but like it talks about how, you know, the spirit wants to do good, but the flesh is weak. I don't know. Let's see. So there it is. All praises to the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Matthew 26:41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. So how the hell is it easier to be good? It's simpler to be good, but it's definitely not easier. Even the scriptures tell you it's not easier. So I don't know what book this guy is reading.
Believe that. And if you call yourself a Christian or you call yourself a Muslim, you can't really be believing in things like the evolution theory, the Big Bang theory, because you believe you were created by your creator.
That's the point, man.
So don't be deceived.
See what Jake will do. He'll have a good point at the end, or have a good point at the beginning, and then, you know, it's like a sandwich. You know, you take a piece of bread and then you take a giant dump in a piece of bread. See, the ends are good. You got two pieces of bread, but inside of it you got a shit sandwich. And this is what Jake likes to do. He likes to feed people shit sandwiches, and then you just see the bread and you think it's worth eating, but it's not. It's full of absolute shit. And this same Jake, you know, I'm not trying to hate on the brother, you know, at the end of the day he's a Jake, but Jake is going off. Like this dude, you for you to, I think he deals with subscriptions. Like basically he sells the truth, you know. And you got the elders out here who have way more wisdom than most people out here. They're not telling you, oh, to subscribe to my YouTube channel. They make all their YouTube videos private, and you gotta pay them a £10 a year or whatever subscriptions to view their videos. I mean, come on, man. He's talking about, you know, what is all the same, and it's not. Isaiah 8:14, and he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So he's saying we all have different prophets, when we all know the only way through to the Father is through the Son. But, you know, apparently with Muslims, their prophet is Muhammad, and they talk about Yahweh Shai, but not like he, you know, he's the one and only begotten Son of the Most High, and the only way to the Father is through the Son. They don't understand that. They don't get that. They're not interested in that. They see him as a prophet, but not as a way to the Father. And that's how the Lord is set up, because you can't speak directly to the Most High. If you go into Pepsi, or you go into friggin' Walmart or any of them places, you can't just walk up to the CEO. You get any person on the till, and even then you don't get directly to the manager. They go call the manager down to you, and then, you know, behind the manager you have the area manager, you know, the area manager, and then the regional manager, and then, you know, the national manager, and then you have the CFOs. But it's all separated. But my man think it's all the same thing. It's not all the same thing. 1 Peter 1:16, because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. And look into the word holy. Common, well, it says unclean, undefiled, a sanctuary, What's the sanctuary? Hallowed, dedicate, consecrated. I'm looking for the one that says to be set apart. But at the end of the day, when you're consecrated, you're separate from everything else, because everything else is profane. So to be holy to the Most High, you gotta be, you gotta be not of the world. But this guy's talking as if, you gotta be with everybody else and agree with everybody else because it's all the same thing. These times they believe in something completely different, because you speak to the Muslims. They're talking about how you can eat jellyfish, you can eat basically any fish is clean. These times, in a Levitical law, or in Leviticus, you're not supposed to eat any seafood creature that doesn't have fins and a scale. But Muslims will eat prawn because that's not unclean to them. So how is it the same thing? 1 John 4:5. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world hear of them. So your typical Jake will hear them, be like, yeah, we're all the same, man. We're all in it together. These times, them man, they don't. You're not in it together, man. Because to them, they can have tattoos. You know, they're praying that the Lord give their team strength so that their team can win a championship and all of this worldly stupid ass stuff. And the Lord don't give two hoots about that, man. England just lost the Euro finals. This time Jake was sitting there talking about I support England. As soon as they lost, they started abusing all the black players. Like, all the racism come out. So this man pretends in your face that he likes you, but these times you want to be his buddy. Jake is just so gone, man. This is Proverbs 23:23. Buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. So what you're not supposed to do, you're not supposed to sell the truth. You're not supposed to give it away. And in another sense, you're not supposed to sell it. You're not supposed to have the truth and then be charging people money for it. Yahweh Shai came with the ultimate truth. He weren't charging people to hear and speak. If anything, he was giving free game away. He was giving away stuff. But Jake want to get a little bit of truth and then start selling it like it's a business model. They want to have the truth, but they want to have a business model of it. They want to put slogans on T-shirts and be selling yarmulkes and garments and all this kind of stuff. And Jake is going off, man. Just a couple more scriptures. This is Psalms 4:3. But no, the Lord hath set apart him that is holy for himself. So the Lord has set apart those who are holy to him for himself. The Lord will hear when I call unto him. So what does that show you? It means that the Lord is only hearing those that he has set apart for himself. Everybody else he ain't hearing. Your little Muslims that want to pray 7 times a day. You want to pray 7 times a day, but you out here popping 11-year-old. You're gangbanging 11-year-olds. You're Muslim, but you sell pork in your shop. You know what I mean? And you're not even supposed to touch that stuff in the scriptures. I don't know what the Quran says on the matter, but you guys don't eat pork, but you sell pork. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you want to be Muslim, but you don't want to have a beard. These times in your own laws, you're meant to have a beard. You want to eat, prawns and catfish and all of that stuff because to you it's clean, even though the scriptures directly speak against that. So clearly it's not the same thing. Your Muslim text and your Torah and the Holy Bible, there's slight variations, and slight variations, basically lead up to a big thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're walking in a straight line and somebody veers off 5 degrees, and they walk 2 miles, by the end of it, one person's gonna end up straight and one person's gonna end up way over there. They're gonna be in a different place, even though it's a small, variation that they've taken off. The same thing with Chinese whispers. You whisper something in somebody's ear, they whisper it to somebody else, and by the time it gets back to the person who originally said it, it's a completely different sentence. So these small variations, they may seem small, but they add up to something big. And Jake don't understand that, because Jake is of the world, man. 1 Peter 1:16, and I've read this, but I'm gonna read it again. Because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. So you're meant to be separate from these people, because these people are full of absolute waffle. They don't read the scriptures. They don't understand it. They think it's all the same. And I used to be in that same mind frame. I thought, it's all the same God. But then when you get into the scriptures, you realize no one's really living like how you're supposed to live. Not to say I'm perfect, But the fact is, I know I'm not perfect. These people don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. At least I know when I'm going off. These people don't even have the wisdom to understand when they're going off. All praises to the Most High Yahweh by Shem Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Jim and Shabul. Well, shalom to the hopeful elect.